Welcome to Berlin for the HomeStory Cup. This best of three is going to feature two massive names, two pro gamers from South Korea. First, currently ranked 11th in his country, 14th in the world, Intel Extreme Masters 2019 champion. Make way for Sue! And ranked fractionally just above at 10th in South Korea, 12th in the world. Behold, the might that is Stats! Well, I'm trying to be all dramatic here. Sue's drone count is off. I don't know what's happened here, but it's not normal. Oh, it is an early spawning pool. Make that a 12 pool. We are definitely starting things off with a bang. I think Sue is playing the meta here because Acropolis, while smaller, still isn't exactly the best map for rushing. There's a narrow choke that can be walled off, which will effectively protect two bases at once. But since a rush isn't exactly ideal, what better time to pull one off than when your opponent least suspects it? And there's a geyser of biological debris as the spawning pool comes into being. 4, make it 6 lings are immediately ordered for production. Stats has no idea, but he's at least started his wall off. He's gonna need that because he doesn't have a combat unit to his name. And speaking of names, Stats is playing under a barcode, so that's why his name looks like a bunch of vertical lines. It's something pro players do when they want to hide their identity for practicing. Kind of like analogous to how knights would put covers over their shields so you couldn't see their heraldry if they didn't want anybody to know who they were. But forget the history lesson, the lings are on the way! Will Stats' probe give him a slight warning? Let's check his vision. No! The lings have slipped right around! Oh! He sees lings 7 and 8, but 1 to 6 are already on his doorstep! Mayday, mayday, the wall-off is not complete! The wall-off is not complete! Sue is inside the natural. He immediately goes to tear down a pylon. That would be Stats' only pylon. The probes rush to the defense. The cybernetics core warps in, but the pylon goes down! Stats' only warp gate goes dark. Sue micros his lings back to prevent the surround, but then he dives back in. Stats immediately starts up another pylon, but his wall is still not tight. 2 more lings are gonna flood inside. It's probe versus ling with the game on the line. Just look at the micro as Stats rotates those deep red probes. But he runs out of probes to rotate and they all just start to die. 9 kills so far. The warp gate powers back up and he pulls back his probes. An adept is instantly put into production. He is not gonna spare the chrono boost, I can tell you that. The last 2 of Sue's lings are looking to be pests of themselves at the main. Sue denying as much mining time as possible. His own natural is already down, and he looks to be queuing up minerals for his third. Stat skills 1 ling, only 1 to go. And it's ducking and weaving and being as annoying as humanly possible. Stats adept is no longer needed for defense. He's gotta head out and do some damage. If he can't even up this game fast, he's gonna get walloped. Stats has already planted that third. Remarkably, Stats is only down 4 workers. But with Chrono Boost at this stage of the game, Protoss is supposed to be ahead on workers. Normally with a lone unupgraded adept, you're pretty much looking to pull off a scout. Stats is under huge pressure to do so much more, and I expect him to try to take a risk. He shades in, attempting to bypass the first queen. He's going for the main. Oh, but there's a second queen and 2 lings there. The only way he's killing drones is if he sacrifices that adept. Stats drops the safety shade, trying to get out. He kills 1 ling, but Sue's queen is working that adept down. He shades out, but 2 queens are there. They trap him in a vice. And a desperate Stats is on to plan B, which will be an investment in a Stargate. Sue starts up ling speed, and he's starting to run away on worker count. It's only gonna get worse once that third hatch comes online. I'm looking for signs of safety spores though. Desperation DTs and an Oracle Rush are really the 2 things that a Protoss player could potentially do to get back in this. And it's an Oracle in production. Poor Stats can't afford the minerals to buy a Stalker to chase out that Overlord. Sue knows it, and he's taking advantage by camping right in Stats' natural. This is Intel luxury style. The rally point is set for Sue's third. There's no safety spores, but look, Sue's investing in a Baneling nest. He's looking to end this. Stats is gonna have to hope his Oracle pilot graduated from Top Gun Academy. He's on the way, but Sue absolutely saw it with his Overlord, and he starts up 2 spores. There's no element of surprise here. He might as well turn his speakers up to max and blast some Kenny G, or whatever it is that Protoss listen to. Oh, Sue's sending out a Ling Force. Something tells me this is for more than just map control. Pulsar beams are active. He gets 2 kills. And then the spore maturates with perfect timing precision. You just know that Sue has this perfectly timed out from having played this out thousands of times before. Stats was actually thinking about a 3rd, but the Lings are going to deny that with ease. Stats is sending a 2nd Oracle to reinforce the 1st, but that's not going to leave him with much of anything at home. He's kind of in a rock and a hard place. A rock and a hard place with Banelings. Sue's looking to bust the wall. There's 7 Banelings about to hatch. I don't think Stats has any idea. Depending on your allegiance, this is about to get really spectacular or really ugly. The slow Banelings are skittering across the tile. The follow-up Lings waiting in the wings. The Adepts suddenly look up from their iPhones, and they are annihilated on hold position. Banelings hit the mineral line, Lings swarm in, and Stats knows it's over. Sue wins game 1! Okay, so what can you say about this one? Cheese is pretty good when it works. Stats Probe Micro was pretty amazing. A lesser player would have straight up died to that. Give Stats credit for at least trying to come back. But it was never going to happen. I don't think you can realistically harass a pro Zerg opponent when he has an Overlord sitting in your base, watching your production mines. Stats needed to drive that Overlord out, but let's be real, Zugzwang, are you really going to spend the minerals on that? And if so, would you wind up just as dead, only faster? I don't know. Sue catches Stats with his pants down. It happens. It's game 1. Let's jump to the next one. Game 2. I know he's down 1, but Han Solo says, never tell me the odds. But you have to tell this guy, because he's Stats! I guess he's gonna need a good lawyer, because he's gotta get in front of a judge and sue! Okay, that didn't make any sense at all, but you saw where I was trying to go with that, right? Okay, so Stats should be marginally happier to see that they're playing Game 2 on Ephemeron. With the bridges, there's a lot of choke point potential. You really want to see that when you're facing a Zerg opponent. Speaking of Zerg, Sue's sending out an early drone scout. My guess is Sue's worried he's going to see a little bit of revenge cheese, so he's sending out a scout to make sure he's ready. And we're not surprised to see that Stats is going to get right to work on his wall off this game. Sue drops a hatch at his natural and his drone scout crosses into the neutral zone. And then from there he'll... Whoa! Hold it. He's not going into Stats' base. He's bobbing and weaving. That's the Morse code for mischief. And Sue is queuing minerals. We could be seeing a hatch block at the natural. Oh yes, he's got this timed out. As soon as he hits 300. Bam! It's the big ugly right on your doorstep. So first he gives him a 12 pool, and then he gives him a hatch block. This is like some kind of hazing ritual. Welcome to Group D of HomeStory Cup. Stats is reacting well though. He's pulled the 4 probes, and he's going to invest in completing his wall off. It's not tight, but it will be. And the nanosecond his gateway completes, he starts his Zealot. A good old-fashioned Zealot will give you the DPS you need to take down a building. But in a way, it's great for Sue because if he's making a Zealot, he's not making an Adept, which gives him more time to get his queens out, and his defense will be set, and he's much more free from harass. Stats isn't exactly losing a ton of mining time, but he's off his game plan. So will Sue get his $75 back, plus 50 for the drone? That we will have to see. The thing's like a water-filled balloon. Why won't it pop? Why won't it pop? Stop hitting it with a hammer. Use something sharp, man. Like a pin. Get out your car keys, Zealot. Come on, get your car keys. Ooh, Sue needs to cancel that. Oh, he does. Oh my gosh, the drone is getting away. It can't escape. Stats has to chase that thing down with one of his adepts. If that thing lives, forget Stats. I'll be on tilt. And I'm just watching. Okay, there it is. Stats immediately transitions to his adept harass, but it's already at the 2.5 minute mark. Queen count aside, Sue's about to finish Ling speed. This is a dangerous assignment for any adept. The good news is, he's going to have 2 of them. I'm interested to see if he's going to split them so he can hit 2 places at once, or if he's going to combine them so he can double shot some drones. Sue's Ling pack streams down the ramp. Speed upgrades only seconds away. Sue springs the trap. He's got a semi-surround. Stats with the shade out. Ghosting for the main. He's taking a lot of damage. He needs to get out of there now. It's shade or die, shade or die. Stats does both. One adept dies, but a second one shades into the main. Oh, Sue's base is the Temple of Doom. There's just traps everywhere. Gonna need to channel some inner indie if he's gonna get out alive. There's the second shade, and he did. Indiana Jones is running for his life. I don't know if he actually stole any cultural artifacts that illicitly belong in a museum, though. He is gonna see the Virgin creep extending from the third and know the timing, which might be just enough to let Stats know that even though they're even on workers now, they won't be for very long. Sue's thinking, since I got 8 speedlings that aren't doing anything anymore, I might as well go check the timing on your third. Stats is like, no need. I'll post a photo on Insta when it's ready. Zerg's like, oh, that'd be great. We'll give you a like. No, he's not. Zerg is like, we're here to kill you. I gotta stop personifying. Oh, look, Sue totally deked out that shade. Thank goodness Stats left an adept to seal that wall. Sue's gonna see no third and pat himself on the back for making safety spores. The first oracle is already streaming to Sue's base. And the neat part is there's a void ray being made behind it. I'm starting to wonder, maybe Stats has been testing out some new strat with the new patch. Queen has no trouble zoning out that oracle to the north, and that's gonna buy Sue all the time he needs to pop up his spores. Ling squad running topside, while a trio of adepts cross into the neutral zone. We're about to find out who's gonna wish they had their units back at home more. Stats' adepts link up with his oracle and look to shade up Sue's wide ramp. Queens pull back in reaction, and the Lings are on their way back home. But I don't think they have the muscle to tangle with that force. Sue doesn't think so either. He dekes them off to the side. He's making more Lings, Stats is making more oracles. So much for my Void Ray theory. I guess he just made one for defense. Sue starts the upgrade on Hive Tech. Stats, adding to his adept count. He's really starting to commit to this harass. Or at least his harassment potential. Void Ray, out on the map. It does not have the new upgrade, though. That's a 2019 Void Ray. Okay, so Stats' harassment ball, if I can call it that, is starting to come together. Sue is still low tech. Just queens and lings at the moment. Is this Stats' window to attack? Or is the focus on building his third? He's Overlord hunting. Remember, prismatic alignment does extra damage against armored units, and Overlords are armored. Even though they mostly look like just big bags of gas. Oh, double Oracle raid on the third. He snipes too, but Spore plus Queen is going to force him out unless he wants to lose an Oracle. Meanwhile, the Void Ray swings around to the north. Hive Tech finishes and Sue's got a big bank of minerals. How will he spend it? Hydra Den, big bank of Lings, and 4 Overlords. He is not interested in getting supply capped by that Void Ray. Oh, speaking of building, Stats has just pulled the hammer on a fleet beacon and a second starport and a Void Ray. I'm getting really stoked to see this. The only problem is Sue's going Hydra Tech. At least I think he is. And we've all seen Hydras do nasty things to Protoss air. Oh, look at this combo for creep cleanup. Oracle Revelation reveals the tumors for 30 seconds and the Void Ray makes quick work of them. That is so cool. Almost as cool as a fleet beacon warping in. But 8 Hydras coming up for Sue, with a Groove Spine upgrade for extra range. OMG, it's the Flux Vanes upgrade! The Void Ray speed upgrade says, I have returned. I gotta be honest, I haven't actually seen this thing used at a pro level yet. This is like totally experimental. Or at least it would be, except I think it's gonna run into a huge pack of Hydras. Stats is pulling back, and that means Sue's gonna finally get his creep up and running. And a Lurker Den. I don't know that Lurkers would be too effective against Oracle Void Ray, though. I feel like he'd be happier keeping his Hydras unmorphed. Ling's looking to see if they can cause some trouble at the third, but there is a shield battery coming in. Stats will try a pair of hallucinated phoenixes to see if he can get the scout. Look at that, my computer's so excited about the Flux Vanes, it's gonna do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, Happy Flux Vanes! Stats will get eyes on that Hydra Den. But that's not going to stop him from going for a third Stargate. He's going all in on Sky Toss. Maybe we'll even see a mothership. Now my computer wants a countdown on Groove Spines. Sorry, not as interesting. Certainly not as interesting as 5 Flux Vane Void Rays. At that level of commitment, he probably wants to even see some air attack upgrades. Sue's units almost look a little bit confused. They're like, why is nobody contesting my map control? I guess I'll take a 4th then. Check the speed on those Void Rays. If Elon Musk made a Void Ray, that's what it would do. It would also cost 10 times as much. Sue's got a major attack force at the third. Huge pack of Lings hit a stasis trap. And then they charge into a second one. The Void Rays kill the newly constructed fourth, but they're so far out of position. There's 4 shield batteries, but there's nobody left to benefit from them. The mass Hydra is bombing away. They don't care if they have triangles on their heads. Lurkers are burrowed. Void Rays focusing down the third. This is deteriorating into a base race. Sue reacting well with 6 spores and 7 Hydras under construction. Ling Hydra Lurkers like, I was born to base race, baby. Stats, Sky Toss, race for the natural. But the spores pop up just in time. There's just too much defense. This race is over. Oh, the Lings have slipped into the toss natural. Stats is staring into the face of elimination. But those Hydras are gonna kill those interceptors faster than they can be built. Oh, the Lurkers are gonna burrow right in front of his tech. And there's more Hydras than there are interceptors. That's not a good sign. Oh, there's a lot of red buildings. Things are about to go boom. Oh, Protoss destruction is always so spectacular. It never gets old. Sue's breached the main. Stats, recalling his Void Rays. Can he keep his last Nexus alive? He's focusing down the Hydras. Oh my goodness, it's actually working. But there's no detection. There's nothing to stop the Lurkers. The last Nexus is gonna fall. The Hydras are gone, but it's too late. Stats gets the Disney fireworks display in his main. Worse, he's gonna get the message every Starcraft player fears. One that causes us to wake up in cold sweats. You have no base and are being revealed! Exclamation mark. Stats is trying to sneak out an Oracle from his last starport. If he can get it, he'll have some detection. Oh, Stats has been revealed. Sue knows there's blood in the water. Wait a second. I know what Stats' plan is. Those aren't Flux Vanes. Those are Flex Capacitors. Stats is gonna go back in time and save this game. Michael J. Fox style. Actually, he's gonna reveal those Lurkers, kill them dead, and then he's gonna put together a Sky Toss for one final push. Speaking of push, what is that Oracle doing to those poor carriers? Hey, this is a family show. I guess this is kind of how Stats feels about this game. Come on, Oracle, stop that. This is not the time or place. Stats gets a look at Sue's insane Hydra count and knows he needs to tap out. Sue is your winner. He takes the best of 3 and goes into the winner's bracket at HomeStory. Sue wins 2-0 with a 12 pool and a hatch block followed by a defense against Sky Toss. But as the cliche goes, we're all winners as we got to see Flux Vanes with at least a hint as to how Protoss pros might wield them in the future. Back to the future, that is. Sorry, I'll stop that now. But in all seriousness, my favorite part of this series was actually the Baneling bust in Game 1. Sure, we've all seen that many times before, but watching those 2 poor adepts stand still helplessly while being charged by slow Banelings really spoke to me. In fact, it gave me a new idea for a signature line for my TeamLiquid.net account. Tell me, what do you think of this? Live life because nobody wants to die in hold position. That kind of sounds like an inspirational poster. I want that on my wall. Let me pause. And here it is. There, it's everything I dreamed it would be. I think I need to give a TED Talk on how Starcraft can change your life and upgrade your resiliency. Anyways, this is just the nonsense that my brain thinks of while I enjoy a cool game of Starcraft 2. I'm hoping to run through some more games from HomeStory Cup, so please consider joining me. If you hit the subscribe button, it'll increase the chances that the next Zugzwang Starcraft video will appear in your recommendations. Wait, did I just talk everyone out of subscribing? Let me take that back. Subscribing is the best way to guard against my vids creeping into your feed. Anyway, it's all good. Thanks for watching. So from my base to yours, Zugzwang out.
To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle, but Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Of course, you could always season upgrade and subscribe to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.